Let's do it.
Sometime today.
I know.
No worries. Take your time.
Get myself hyped back up.
Yeah.
I got till 3 o'clock, so we could sit here for 20 minutes if you want in silence.
That's never happened.
That's
That would be a first on the podcast.
That won't happen. But all right, we'll do it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast, the Dirt Drive.
Third favorite podcast.
Sixth, probably at this point.
At this point, yeah.
It's a bit that Tom started for no fucking reason. It's pretty.
Every
dumb.
week it gets lower on the list.
but your other favorite podcasts are also the Dirt Drive podcast.
Right, because 5 weeks ago it was your first favorite podcast, and it's just like, no,
it's not a good bit.
If you have to explain it, it's not a good bit.
Yeah, no. Yeah, if you gotta explain it, it's not a good bit.
Works. Yeah.
This week we're still in the same place, but we got a new guest.
Yep.
We're at Overland Expo, and we are brought to you by Gearhead Coffee this week. Thank you, Gearhead Coffee, for helping us get out here and do everything. I get this for you.
Oh, very cool. Oh, thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
If you guys go to their website and use code DIRTDRIVE, you get 15% off anything, and it helps us out, and it shows Gearhead that we're pushing them and we're loving them. So go use the
Gearhead Coffee. Yeah, check it out. It's pretty sweet.
Get some Colombian Bam Bam or some Texas pecan.
The Texas pecan is good.
Nice.
And the non-sponsored, I always get
Sponsored.
the name.
Brewtrek.
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 Fucking awesome French press.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wonderful.
A French press. That's a French press?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
Wow.
puts all the grounds at the bottom.
So it's easy to clean.
Easy cleanup.
Wow,
You can
okay.
drink right out of it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I think your grounds are still in it.
I didn't drink all the coffee out of it. But yeah, this week we're here with Chris Macormack. We met him here last year because he was camped in a Malibu.
It was a rental.
It was a
car.
rental
car,
Malibu
yeah.
with I don't know if I can say this, with your rental tent.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
He rented a tent. We won't get into how he rented it because that's questionable.
I got a guy.
But yeah, I walked over. I'm like, "What the hell are you doing here in a Malibu?" He's like, "Oh, I'm speaking." I'm like, "All right, that's pretty wild." And we ended up hanging by a campfire and talking and drinking for 6 hours.
Yeah, that was a late night.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
That was a fun night though.
And we've been talking on and off about getting him on the show since then.
Right.
We finally made it happen.
But yeah, so I had that rental because my car had died, or was on the way to die. And I was like, I'm driving 7 hours to Virginia. I should probably just get a rental.
Yeah,
I
because
didn't want to.
you're in Jersey, right?
Yeah, Jersey.
Yeah.
North
Well,
Jersey.
when you're home, you're in Jersey.
Yeah, when I'm home in Jersey.
Because you're a professional traveler, I guess. I don't know. You spent 3 months in Mongolia?
I did 6 weeks. I just got back from Mongolia. I was there for 6 weeks on a motorcycle. First time ever on a motorcycle.
That's a little excessive.
Yeah, in an Asian country.
It was
wild.
Insane. Dude.
That's cool
Insane.
though. That's really cool.
Ended up doing 3,200 miles.
That's awesome.
And 1,000 of the 3,200 miles were.
That's better. That's why that gain was turned all the way up. Don't know how that happened.
Fixed.
That makes sense. Haha, I figured it out.
There you go. Wow.
Audio engineer.
It is a
Look
lot
at
better,
us,
actually.
yeah.
It is a lot better. Okay, cool.
Should have figured that out earlier.
So
Sorry for the last one.
Remember that? That's why it keeps going lower on the podcast.
See, we're getting worse.
Yeah.
We're getting worse.
The ADD
But you got
is strong today.
Gearhead Coffee is really carrying
Yeah.
carrying some weight though.
You
I got some. It's cold brew now because it's been sitting. It might still be warm, but if you want a cup of coffee, it might still be
when
warm.
I leave here, I actually might because
Okay.
I really enjoy coffee. And in Mongolia,
You've been fucking talking a lot too. You've had these 5 seminars so far?
I have 6 total speaking engagements here at Overland Expo East this weekend. 4 of them are classes. 2 of them are like roundtable panelists.
It's a lot of talking.
Yeah, bro, it really is.
And then I called Jeff. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yo, I hate those things, bro.
Yeah. Then I called Jeff. I'm like, hey, you want to come talk more and hang out?
Yeah.
But if you want a beer, I got beer for you too.
No, I'm drinking more actually.
Oh, good for you.
Trying to. It's
Hell
just you know what it is, man. It doesn't align with my lifestyle anymore.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Yeah, it's
I get
awesome.
it. I get it.
Yeah, definitely get it.
I just, it's
Yeah.
just, I feel like if you really want to get to the next level in your life, it's always going to require a different version of who you are.
Sure.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
I am. 100%. But it's like, I really feel a difference when I don't drink
Yeah,
alcohol.
no, I agree. I the same thing. I fall into the peer pressure easy, and then it's also easy social lubricant for a conversation, I think.
For sure. No, for sure. It definitely loosens things up.
But you're someone who likes to talk, so it makes it really easy. You don't need that.
You know what it is, man? People are always like, aren't you afraid to travel by yourself and you're not going to meet anyone? I'm like, I could talk to a tire.
Yeah.
I could talk to anybody and make a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's not really a problem for me.
I think the way I look at it, and I'm curious to get your perspective on it, but 6 weeks motorcycle for the first time.
You don't speak
in
the
Mongolia.
language,
You don't speak the language. Like the logistics of getting there, finding a motorcycle, like navigating, like I think that's got to be the difficult part of it. Like once you're there and you get going, like that's just travel at that point, right? It's really no different.
It's really interesting because the only thing that honestly was planned was me getting the motorcycle. There was a company out there in Ulaanbaatar, which is the capital of Mongolia, and the company's called Czech Tours. She rents motorcycles for $10 a day.
That's a good deal. All right, sign me up.
It's a Chinese Shinarei XY 200cc.
Knockoff of a Honda or something.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And so they're cheap, and that's why you can get them for $10 a day. But it's really actually pretty sweet that they are the Chinese motorcycles because the nomads in Mongolia use the same motorcycle.
Sure.
So if you have any problems, they have the spare parts for you.
Right.
And they can help you out.
Right.
So that's another reason why.
It's just like a nomadic class of like people that travel in Mongolia and China. Is that what you mean by the nomads?
No, like people who live like Mongolians. They're nomadic people.
Okay.
So the population of Mongolia.
So just like your regular citizen.
Regular citizen of Mongolia.
That's
So 3 million people live in Mongolia.
Yeah.
Half of that population lives in the capital.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So 1.5 million are sporadically spread throughout Mongolia.
Just wandering.
And Mongolia is half the size of Europe. So you have 1.5 million people spread out through half the size of Europe.
That's so wild.
So you have. There was times I would drive for 6 hours. I wouldn't see a living being.
That sounds wonderful.
Like not even just humans.
Peaceful.
No animals.
Wild.
Nothing.
Such a crazy.
Dude, it was amazing, bro. It was amazing. And going off of the not drinking anymore, it's because I've been battling with this for a while now. But in Mongolia for 6 weeks, I'm on a motorcycle, can't really drink alcohol.
Yeah. Well, and if you're in the middle of nowhere, it's not like
you're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you can get it, but it's like, do you really want to drive a motorcycle hungover?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
or even just
in a foreign, impaired at all in a foreign country is absolutely not.
And sometimes you don't even know where the hell you're going.
Right.
Sober.
Yeah.
Not hungover. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And when I basically didn't really drink that much for 6 weeks, and I realized I was so present every day.
Yeah.
And I remember a lot of tiny little details just throughout that 6 week experience.
I get that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I just want to have more of that. That's kind of like why I'm on the no alcohol thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. I 100% get that.
Mongolia though, bro, the most extraordinary adventure I probably have ever had in my 10 years of travel now.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest reason was because every single time I woke up and I was getting on that motorcycle, I had no idea what was about to happen.
Yeah.
Every day.
So what inspired that country? Was it just like I've never been here. I've never heard of people going here. Like, let's just do it. Because I have a lot of friends that traveled a lot of places. And nobody's ever gone to Mongolia.
The only.
I guess I got a friend now that went to Mongolia.
100%.
The only thing I know about it is from the Grand Tour episode where they build a car in the Mongolian plains, I guess.
Oh, the steppe.
Yeah, and they just have to drive it. The show is just them driving it across Mongolia.
And that like all of the world's population is a descendant of Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Like all of the world's population or something
pretty
like
much.
that.
And he's actually known by Chinggis Khan. Genghis Khan is what the Westerners call him.
Oh,
Mongolians call him Chinggis Khan.
Which is actually ironic.
They call him Granddaddy.
And the reason for
kind of how they
that,
spell it, isn't it?
Chinggis?
Yeah, isn't it?
Exactly. No,
It's like GH, isn't it?
no, it's Genghis. It's ChinGGIS.
Oh wow.
So they call him Chinggis Khan because that means universal ruler or like king of the ocean. And they said that his empire was as endless as an ocean.
Well, because it was.
I mean, bro, they owned everything in between South Korea and Poland.
Yeah.
Insane.
Nomads
huge.
on horses.
Yeah.
Nomads on horses.
Huge.
Unbelievable, man.
Can you imagine if they had cell phones back then? Like,
They couldn't imagine it.
Yo, Tom, that's funny you said that. There was two things that I would think about every day driving on the motorcycle. One was this is the same step that Chinggis Khan and his men would march across and just absolutely annihilate people. Right.
Well, yeah, that realization of history of like the Native Americans used to roam this land and Civil War was fought here and like it's fucking great. And like that's fact. Is that the BCs?
What?
Was for Genghis Khan?
No, he was like 1200 to like 1400. Okay. Their reign was only like 250, 300 years, maybe 400.
Which is still wild to think about. Like you're like, oh, it was only 250 years, but like that, we're only gonna live 80 if we're lucky.
Yeah.
And the only reason they fell apart was because of internal conflict, the struggle for power. His grandsons were fighting over power. Yeah. Other than that,
it's kind of funny how that happens.
When you have 300 grandsons,
sounds like a current situation.
That's it.
Yeah, it's 3,000, whatever it is. Yeah.
And my second thought was, I was like, man, Chinggis Khan would have loved to have motorcycles, bro.
Oh yeah,
he would have loved everywhere.
But like, think about like just because the communication aspect of it, right? Like even the Roman Empire, like the whole concept of like governing that much space, and it takes months to tell somebody over there what's going on.
Yeah.
Where now it's like a text message literally goes around the world in a second.
I think so. Mongolia is responsible for so many original ideas. They created paper currency.
Yeah.
They started Silk Road was because of Mongolia, and I think they started the Pony Express.
Oh, like the concept of it.
The concept of
the relay,
of the horses relay. Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep. So Mongolian horses are smaller, but man, they're machines, bro.
Yeah.
I took a 8-hour horseback riding trip to go see the Satan tribe. It's like the last reindeer herders in the whole world. You got to take 8 hours on a horse through the mountains, through swamps,
what a
rivers,
wild place,
forests.
So what inspired? I know I asked that first.
Oh yeah,
no, that's right.
sidetracked.
No, that's right.
We're used to sidetracks. We call them side quests.
I call them tangents in my programs.
Yeah.
I always say, I'm like, listen, thank you guys for being here. So I'm let you know there's going to be a lot of tangents today, but we'll always come back to what we're thinking.
I like side quests because it has like a tangent feels like you're.
Reminds me of sophomore algebra class.
Yeah,
true. Okay.
Well, like tangent feels like a rant.
Yeah.
That's why we do the side
quest
quests because it's like a fun adventure off the side.
You know what? I might have to start using that.
Go for it. Go for it. It's from our friend.
Your whole life is a side quest, really.
Right? It feels that way sometimes. It feels that way
quest.
sometimes. But the whole reason why it was like I like maps. I like globes. I like looking at them. I've always been that way since I was a kid. And when I was a kid, I would always look at a map and I'd go, Mongolia. What the heck is that?
Yeah.
So that seed's been planted in me for a long time. And actually last year here, the Stu and Allie, they're the over pack rat. Oh man, I feel so bad.
They don't listen. Don't worry about it.
Anyway,
jokes on us. They do.
Yeah, right. They're an Australian couple who traveled on motorcycle for 10 years in a row.
That's so cool.
Never stopped. 10 years in a row with
kill it.
With
it bounced.
Yeah, it does. Where'd it go?
Yeah, it's a super invasive species.
Yeah, I know. We have them in Jersey too.
Oh, okay.
I don't miss them. I didn't miss seeing those, honestly.
Yeah.
So they traveled for 10 years on a motorcycle, every single continent except Antarctica, with 3 dogs.
Damn.
And they had a program.
How do you do that on motorcycles? A lot of sidecars.
Unbelievable. No, they actually
Backpacks?
invented some sort of like dog house that goes on the back of your motorcycle, and they sell it now.
Wild.
It's amazing. And part of their program was about Mongolia. And I'm like, man, you know what? They're showing me that there's some roads there. They did it. If they can do it, I can do it. Right?
Yeah.
So, and then my friends called me last year and they said, hey, we want to go to Japan for 2 weeks. Do you want to come? Or 12 days. I was like, I'm down. But
your Japan trip looks fucking sweet.
I was like, I'm down, but I'm not going to Asia for 12 days. Like, I'm not flying. It takes 12 days to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm going to go to Mongolia first. This is finally it. I have to make this happen. And then I'll meet you in Japan. So that's why I went to Mongolia.
That's cool.
Yeah, dude. 6 weeks, 3,200 miles. I did the whole country.
So what did you do to plan your trip? You just kind of like wing it? Like, how'd you talk to the locals?
Yeah. Charades.
Charades, really? Okay.
Like you walk up to a nomadic family in the middle of the steppe, and you need a place to stay, or you don't want to sleep in your tent. It's basically like this.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Can I stay here for money?
Yeah, I figured it
exactly,
out. Yeah.
Exactly. So also too, tourism is on the rise in Mongolia. So they know people are coming there now.
That's
you know
cool.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But there were some nomadic families who wouldn't accept any money from me.
Oh, but
I would sleep there. They would feed me. I'd ride their horses, and I'd try to give them some money, like $20. Like, no, we're good.
That's awesome. That's cool.
It was amazing, dude.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Different lifestyle.
But like I said, man, the only thing that was really planned was picking up the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Other than that, I had a route of things I wanted to do. But in terms of like, oh, I'm gonna be here by this day, I had no clue.
Paper map, GPS. How'd you manage to get around?
Yeah, that's funny, man. I didn't even think about a paper map until I met someone with a paper map, and I was like, man, I should have got a paper map. I didn't even think about that. And there's only one place to get it in the capital.
Yeah.
Outside of there, you're not gonna find it. So I just used Google Maps. Actually, it was pretty good.
Google Maps is amazing.
It's pretty reliable.
Yeah.
I mean, the roads. It has roads on the map. That doesn't mean it's an actual road, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like asphalt or concrete, right?
Yeah.
But there is a trail there.
Gravel or dirt or trail, yeah.
Something
And if
like
you're on a dirt bike or a motorcycle, you go really anywhere you can walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Places you can't even walk.
So I would just basically map out. I'm going from Maroon to Kalban today. It's 120 kilometers, so that's like 90 miles maybe or 80 miles. It would take me like 10 hours to go 80 miles.
Yeah. I mean,
Whew, man, dude, I hate driving on the sand on a motorcycle.
I'm
No,
sure.
that sucks.
I only crashed 3 times
That's pretty good.
over the course of 6 weeks.
And you live to tell the story.
2 of the 3 were because of sand.
Yeah.
2 of the 3 were because
That's
of sand.
usually why
Not
you
surprised.
survive them, because the sand just soft. You just tip over.
Man, I hate those.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hate the sand, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, I was impressed. I talked about this earlier today with Rick. Me and my wife went to a Europe trip this year, and we did an
Nice.
adventure in Prague where we
Nice.
went out to the Bohemian Swiss National Forest.
Yeah.
And I was planning on not having cell service, and I was very impressed that Gaia Maps, they're here as
I've
a
heard of
vendor.
Gaia Maps,
Gaia
yeah.
Maps has it's not just the U.S. They have everything mapped. So we had hiking trails, we had off-road trails.
Yeah.
Not that we did any off-road trails, but highways, bus routes, and all across the world.
Yeah. Now, how does
And-
that work? You
and
got to
you
pay
can-
for that, or is it a free
Yeah, it's like
version?
you said it's like $60
They,
a year
they
now.
literally just raised the price like last week. Supposedly, it's like $60 for the
But you can also
year.
pre-plan routes. So sit in your hotel or
Yeah.
wherever in a tent. Like, this is where I want to go. I've got this map downloaded.
Okay.
Yep.
So you just snap to, and it kind of set it on your dashboard or your
Wow.
handlebars.
Nice.
Kind of guide you.
Yeah.
I've heard of that app.
Yeah, it's
before.
pretty sweet.
That's
I
really
use it.
nice.
I use it a ton. Tom likes Onyx. Onyx only has this stuff in the United States.
I think they have some Canada, but it's North America.
Yeah, some
right
Canada
now.
and some
yeah.
Mexico. I think.
Do you guys ever
but-
use Campendium?
I've never even heard those words put together before.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Short
What
story.
is it?
What is that?
It's I was gonna say it's a website and an app that does. You can find like BLM land, campsites
Oh,
Okay.
for RV
Oh,
tenting,
there's
whatever.
one-
okay.
There's a bunch of them. Like
Yeah, I
the,
was
the
saying there's one-
dirt. There's
yeah,
one called the
Dirt with
Dirt
the Y, yeah, it's-
Campendium. The reason I brought it up is because Campendium apparently like last week just shut down their app. It's just a website now
Oh,
for whatever
wild.
reason. You would think it would be the opposite actually.
next to your chair.
Man, I don't miss those at all,
Yeah.
bro.
They're actually.
Oh, my hand's fucking covered in fucking
They're so much
Gatorade
worse.
now.
Like they're bad at where we live now.
And you guys are
There's-
in
Northern Virginia.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
That's
we're
what I
like 2
remember.
hours. 2.5
Winchester,
hours from here.
Leesburg,
Right.
Dulles Airport.
Leesburg. I have a friend from Leesburg actually. Mike Sarson. I don't know if you know him.
Mm-hmm.
He's the goat.
It'd be funny if he listens.
Yeah.
First time I ever shot a gun was on his deck in Leesburg.
Okay.
In
Yeah.
Leesburg?
Yeah, off his deck.
I
Well,
imagine his property in Leesburg,
yeah, it was
not,
pretty
not
sweet.
in the town of Leesburg.
Yeah.
No. It was pretty sweet. It was
Yeah.
pretty sweet. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
those are-
Campendium shut it down. I'm like, well, why would you do that? I mean, apps are really kind of the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're useful if you guys ever want to check it out. I mean, they have a free version and paid version, but
Yeah.
I also had Maps.me, but the free version sucks. I was like, you know what, this is a
Yeah.
waste of time.
Yeah.
Now, Gaia is cool because it's a lot of like peer-to-peer sharing.
Okay.
Like same with Onyx, like people go out, map the trails, and then it's just there. So you get like Onyx if you're in the Jeep or overland off-road community. It's got trail reports. People put pictures, ratings, so like you can really plan out stuff. Like we did a Moab trip in May,
Nice.
and like I was able to sit at my computer for 2 months beforehand and
Kind of
pick-
route it out.
Right,
Yeah.
and like be able to go like, all right, like this trail's probably gonna be too difficult for our buddy, so like let's try this trail, and then connect trails, and we did some remote camping while we were there. And
Do you guys ever think that there's something like too much planning?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
Like too much of doing that?
Yeah,
I'm not saying that to like.
no, I
it's
100%
just
agree.
It's just a question.
So
Yeah.
on the Europe trip, my wife is a event planner for a living.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
boy.
she planned
Yeah,
like
it's-
I had a good time. So she planned everything to a T, but she left one day open in every city for us to figure out what we wanted to do that day.
And was that your favorite? Were those
That
your
was
favorite
my,
days of the trip?
those were her favorite days too.
Yeah.
We didn't have restaurants picked out. We just kind of floated around, did whatever we wanted.
Yep.
But yeah, there's definitely over planning, and it's easy to do
And
because you get nervous when you travel. You're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know where I'm gonna go.
That's the beauty
I don't
of
know
it,
what
though.
currency they use.
That's what I love about it.
We ended up
Yeah.
in the Czech Republic with euros, and we're like, they don't take euros here.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
take
they
the
don't.
Czech.
Yeah, I think is it the franc still or is it a Czech?
No, it's the Czech.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Actually, it's so funny. I was talking to somebody in Mongolia. They're from the Czech Republic, and he was saying that they're part of the European Union, and part of a prerequisite to be accepted into the EU is that you one day will take. Oh my!
Oh, sorry, I flicked it
No,
at
no.
you.
Oh, I'm so glad we filmed this podcast now.
It'll show up later.
Yeah, you're good. Don't.
Dude, they're bad here.
Yeah, they're
everywhere.
really
They're
bad.
bad. But so part of the prerequisite of joining the EU is that one day you will accept the euro. So every year the EU approaches the Czech Republic and says, "All right, can we switch to the euro?" And they go, maybe next
Well,
year.
there's no time limit.
There's
on
no
it.
time limit.
Yeah.
Maybe next year
I
we'll
love
do
it.
it. So that's why
I love it.
they still use the Czech.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
even though they're part of the European Union.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was my favorite. We did Amsterdam. Not a fan of Amsterdam. It was filthy.
I've never been there, and I don't really think I will.
Hamburg was awesome. Hamburg was a wonderful city.
That's
I would-
Germany, right?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
love to go back to Hamburg. Berlin, Prague for 4 days. Then we did London. I couldn't deal without London again.
Yeah.
I was over it. I was like the coolest part was hiking and adventuring and like exploring the backcountry where they didn't speak English. They didn't even speak German. They just spoke Czech.
Yeah.
So like
Nice.
I could figure out. We were in Germany we were in Germany for like 7 days between Hamburg and Berlin, like 5 to 7 days. I can't remember. And we figured like German's pretty easy to figure out. It's pretty similar to English.
Okay.
So in Prague,
Close enough.
it's kind of a common language because it's a border country. But then once you get out of the city, they speak Czech and only Czech. You come out with German or a little bit of English, and they ignore you.
Wow.
It was wild.
Wow, that's interesting. Do you like trying to speak other languages?
Yeah,
or?
it's fun. It's fun to figure out.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that a lot, is trying to figure it out. And like I said, German was an easy one because you just sound it out and you're like, what could this mean? Oh, exit.
Yeah.
Got it.
I only knew 2 words of Mongolian. Hello,
Still?
hello and thank you.
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's so hard, bro.
Well, it's such a different vernacular than anything.
Dude, you have no chance.
Yeah.
You have no chance of understanding, and
Yeah.
you really have to really sit down and figure out, like you said, the phonetic part of it. Just like, how do you even pronounce this?
Right.
It's crazy.
Well, no,
It's symbols
the symbols don't even make sense.
Yeah.
It's Russian alphabet.
Oh, is it the Russian alphabet?
It used to be their own language.
I would assume they
writing.
were off like the Chinese alphabet.
It used to be, but the Russians came in after World War II, I believe.
Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Soviet Union, and they said, okay, you're going to use our alphabet now. So it's
Wild.
they have,
So wild.
but Mongolian has some certain more letters than, I don't know. But
Yeah.
It was pretty controversial.
So
I
where
heard.
have
Yeah,
you
I
gone
can imagine.
before this trip to, like, get your route? Because you don't just start in Mongolia
For what?
for traveling like you do. So
Oh,
where
okay.
else have you been in your lifetime to
Oh, gosh.
prepare you for this trip?
All over the world, and you
Need
know
a longer
that's
episode.
a great that's a great question. That's a great question
Because
because
like that's like an experience level.
yeah,
Jump on a motorcycle, don't know where I'm going, kind of have an idea. Like
Yeah.
you have to have traveled a lot before.
Yeah, you got
this.
to be pretty confident in places you can't.
I was talking to my
communicate.
cousin about this, and we said, Mongolia is a culmination of 10 years of travel, and I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
used every single lesson, experience,
I can imagine.
confidence part of it.
Yeah.
Like for one thing, like when I travel, I never have anything booked in terms of like where I'm going to stay,
Right.
on a motorcycle
it's
or
wonderful.
not.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I'm a solo traveler, I don't want to handicap myself.
Yep.
If I meet cool people, oh well, we're going over here. Oh, but I already booked my hostel or my hotel over here. I can't come with you guys.
Yeah.
Now. So I handcuff myself. Just knowing that I will always find a place to stay.
Yep.
I was never worried about finding a place to stay.
Yeah.
I never slept outside in Mongolia unless I was in my tent. Like I never had to sleep on a bench or in the middle of the steppe or nowhere. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
I think that's such a cool way to travel because like the way me and my wife are going to travel is we're just going to get like cities. She's not a big adventurer. Like,
Yeah.
she likes adventuring, but like in like Europe or Asia or wherever we go, we're going to a city. But I'm like, you can find some places. There's always some place to
Especially
stay.
in cities, there's hundreds
Yeah.
of places, and it's cool too because like if you guys ever heard of Hostel World?
Yes.
And, yeah,
I think I've heard
Hostel
that
World's
one.
basically like
Yeah.
Booking.com, but for
Yeah.
hostels.
Yeah.
It's cool because I'll get an idea of how many hostels are in that area that I'm going to, and then I'll look at it and go, oh, okay, it's $10 a night there, and then I won't book it. I'll just show up and say, can I get it for cheaper now? Because I'm not booking through any middleman, so I'll get
Yeah.
it for $8 a night.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Also, I don't want to book more than 3-4 nights at a place I've never stayed at before.
Right.
Yeah.
Could be a shithole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Could be a
now-
shithole, or you could meet cool people that have another cool place for you to stay at.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And you come in off the travel day, you stay one night, you like it. The next morning you extend it. You don't like it? Well, you're showered, refreshed, and now you have the whole day to go walk around and find a place to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of the science of it a little bit. But yeah, man, it's just like over the last 10 years, it's just it's hard to kind of put into words about.
The big notable places, like favorite place in Europe, Asia, whatever.
Okay.
Is Australia worth it?
Well, that's where it all started for me in Australia.
Did it?
I studied abroad there. I did a semester in Melbourne, Australia, for 5 months, and that's where my life changed forever. It was the most important decision I ever made in my life going to Australia, because number one, I was only 20 years old and I'd never
Okay.
left the country before.
Yep.
So you're also young. You're in 30s.
I've just turned 31 actually.
Hell yeah.
shit.
About 3 months ago now.
Yeah.
2 months ago. I don't even know what year we're in
May?
anymore. October.
October.
I mean,
So we're in
currently.
October.
You fucked that one up, didn't you?
August.
Okay.
Yeah, August
Nice.
3rd.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, bro.
That
Appreciate it.
back then. I don't
No,
know.
appreciate it. You know what? The biggest experiences that probably helped me to become a better traveler are all the adversity that I went through. Like,
Yeah.
not the fun stuff, not the good times.
Sure.
Well, that's what makes all the stories. Like,
Yeah.
Well, that's
Like-
all people care about, too.
Like when we're
Yeah.
it's for real. When we're rock crawling or overlanding, if your trip goes flawlessly, there's no good stories to talk about.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
no good learning lessons. Like you have to have some sort of adversity to tell a good story or learn something.
Right.
Yep.
And you'll definitely find that out there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But one time when I was in Myanmar, I had landed there. I lost 2 separate debit cards in Bali in the matter of 3 days. Somehow I did that. But I still had my credit card. I was like, okay, I should be fine. And I land, I go to the ATM, try to take out money. It's asking me for a PIN number. I'm like, oh, man, I don't have a PIN number.
It's a credit card, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I had no money. So I just started walking along the highway, and this taxi driver pulled over and said, do you want to ride? And he was like the 12th taxi driver, or 13th taxi driver to pull over. And I was like frustrated at this point. I was like, get away from me. Like, I have no money. Go away.
Yeah.
He goes, no, it's okay. I'll take you. I'm like, I was like, I want to be very clear.
I cannot pay you. Yeah.
No money.
Yeah.
No money.
Yeah.
And, bro, I got really lucky. It was a guardian angel sent from above. The next 8 days, he drove me around Myanmar, fed me, and
That's awesome.
brought me to a hostel in Yangon. And his friend owned the hostel, and he said, let this guy stay here. He's from America, lost his debit card. So my mom mailed me a debit card from New Jersey to Myanmar. And he said,
How long does
I
that
didn't know you could do that.
I was like, how long does that take to get there?
It took 8 days.
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
And
it's not bad
that
at
was in
all.
2016.
That had
too.
to be a long 8 days.
Dude. Well, it wasn't that bad because this guy was
That's true.
hooking me up.
Yeah.
So I was able to have an accommodation, and he's like, when he gets his debit card, he'll pay you.
Yeah.
And, that really showed me that your neighbor or people outside of, your bubble are not as scary as the media wants you to
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that kind of, something like that happens, it like puts faith that, if something happens to you, people want to help people.
This is just the Crush and Lanternflies podcast.
We really should have gotten. We were talking last night on the podcast, like doing kill stickers on the side of the Jeep.
Yeah.
Like fighter pilots.
Kill all lanternflies.
we'd have 1,000 of them by now.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Are they
from
just
this
in the East
weekend.
Coast, or are they like all over now?
I think they're just
it's a
on the-
mid-Atlantic.
yeah.
East Coast mid-Atlantic thing. It's where they came like they're
Like off
starting.
the port or whatever? Like from boats or something?
I don't
or?
know.
I like to
That's
joke
the
they're
worst.
Chinese drones, but
They might be.
that's a different podcast.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy what they do to trees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
wild.
Have you seen them in
Yeah.
person of a
They
tree?
just murder
Yeah.
them.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
dude.
I've burned a bunch of the egg sacs out of my backyard.
Nice. Oh.
There's another one.
Damn it.
Dude,
They love your Jeep.
they're big out here too,
I
bro.
can't. The back of my Jeep's been open for 2 days.
Yeah,
They
they definitely.
Oh, they're getting quick at jumping too.
Yeah, they definitely live well on this property.
Oh my
Lost
god,
it.
can you imagine? They
'Cause-
just love it here.
Well, and this like.
God damn it.
Oh my god, we're falling apart.
Look at this. Got to figure it out.
We swear we're real
We're pros.
production.
We're pros.
All right, where were we before that? Lanternfly ruined the.
No, it's
Lost
all
debit
good.
card and
Lost
Lost my
card,
debit
that's
card,
right.
and then the guy took care of me for 8 days, and I eventually got my debit card. I gave him like $300 because I still had about like 2 months left to travel.
Yeah.
And he looked at me. He goes, "No, it's just too much money." He starts crying. He's like, "I don't want this." I'm like, "I start crying." I'm like, "What do you mean you don't want this? Like,
Yeah.
you helped me. You saved my life, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You legitimately saved your
Saved
life.
my life. I was by myself in Myanmar.
Yeah.
You know. By the way, that
And I
com-
imagine there's not a lot of
I
white
was gonna
guys
say,
walking
that's
down
not
the
the
side of the road.
well, at the time, yeah, not really. Not many travelers
it's
there.
not really the safest
Not
country
many-
these days. Too.
It's not either.
Yeah.
Well, it was still unsafe, but it was just like in the northern part when I was there. This is
Right.
2016, so it's a little while ago. But which is crazy to think about.
Yeah,
Um,
that it can change that quickly.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I was on a bus. Myanmar's the wild, wild west.
Where is
Yeah.
Myanmar? Because
It borders Thailand to the
yeah.
west.
Okay.
So you go Myanmar, then if you kept driving east, you go to Thailand.
It's like run by crime cartels, like currently, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. As they had a coup like 3 years ago or
Yeah,
2 years ago or
yeah.
something that like got caught on like this yoga video. You ever see that?
No.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
This woman's doing like morning yoga right in front of like the Capitol building.
And there's like a riot going on outside.
No, and then behind her you see
Yeah.
military armed trucks and vehicles storming the Capitol basically.
Wild.
Imagine like a Mexican drug cartel just taking over.
Yeah,
like,
but she
Mexico
has no
City.
idea it's happening.
Wild.
Yeah.
She has no idea it's
She's
happening.
just teaching yoga class.
She's doing a video, so it's just her, but it's behind her, so she doesn't know what's happening. When I was there, dude, I was on a bus. We hit and killed somebody.
Were you weren't driving, were you?
We did
No.
not do a podcast. You told me this story last
Did
year.
I tell you?
Yeah, I
Oh
remember.
my God.
Yeah, as soon as you said, it, I remember you telling me the story. Like,
dude,
God,
that was insane, bro.
our cable management this week is,
Yeah,
is
it's not
rough.
good. Just loop it over the side.
It's lantern flies, bro. Lantern
it's-
flies.
yeah.
It's
Kill
their fault.
all lanternflies.
It's their fault. But yeah, man, that was crazy, bro. We hit and killed somebody. I was like, man, I'm really out here right now.
Yeah.
I'm
And they
really
just
out
kind of left, like, didn't do it. They just kind of like left them and kept rolling.
A pickup truck came with a coffin. They threw him in the back, and then the bus driver went to jail.
At least he went to jail.
And then a new bus showed up. As we were waiting, it's like,
So there was some sort of legal due process.
yeah,
For hitting. Okay.
yeah. There was like 5 police officers. 4 of them were 17-year-olds in flip-flops and AK-47s.
That's pretty sweet.
I actually asked one of them if I could hold the AK.
He said yes.
And I held it, and I aimed it into the woods. It was really cool. and like the 5th police officer, he was like the senior. He was like in his 50s or whatever. And he was the one actually doing work. The
other four were probably his sons.
Yeah, the teenagers are just with me talking, like trying to practice their English.
That's wild.
Yeah,
that is wild.
Cool. And another moment I had where I was like, man, I'm really out here right now, is when the first time I crashed the motorcycle in Mongolia. I flipped over the handlebars because of the sand. I was like, holy.
So what type of, like, in that situation, what type of communication device did you bring to get out and reach someone if you had an actual emergency? Like anything?
No.
Wild. Wild. I literally just bought, so we're going on a trip in 2 weeks just in West Virginia, overlanding in like the communication dark area by I think the green, it's something big satellite. But my wife's like, we need something to talk to people if we need to. So I bought an inReach just to go to West Virginia.
nReach?
A Garmin nReach. It's a little
satellite.
It's like an SOS satellite phone type thing. Yeah.
Right. Like Jurassic Park in the 90s, they had that phone.
Yeah. Are they carving a turkey?
I don't know. Probably
air compressor?
Shooting down the lantern flies.
We got a car alarm going off.
Bronco guy setting off their car alarm.
Oh my god.
That's wild. Like nothing. You had no communication with the outside world. Is that just how you travel?
Yeah, that's just how I do it.
That's fucking.
I mean, I had a cell phone.
Yeah.
Actually, I got to give props to AT&T. I know they're probably not a sponsor for you guys. They're not a sponsor for me either.
We both use AT&T.
But shout out to AT&T.
Okay.
Because
I have a bone to pick with AT&T, but that's
really?
unrelated. It's more of a billing issue than it is a technology issue, but it's separate.
Dude, I was in the middle of nowhere and I still had reception sometimes.
Yeah.
Not every time, but I mean, I got to give them props. Like, I'm in the middle and absolutely nowhere, and I could still make a phone call if I had to.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool. That's really cool.
That wasn't always the case, though.
Yeah.
That wasn't like every single time.
I know, like in the U.S., like where I used to live in Colorado, which was middle of nowhere, at the time this was 2012, 2013, iPhones had GPS 911 capability.
Okay.
So, like, you could have no cell service, but if you had clear sky, an iPhone could call out to 911 through GPS.
Nice.
So it was basically like a mini built-in sat phone kind of thing.
Pretty
and
cool.
now the iPhone 14s and up have basically Garmin inReach service built into an iPhone. Yeah. Which is a really neat
really
service.
cool.
But also, like, I kind of agree with you. Like, there's almost a point of it being better to not give yourself all the safety crutches, because like then you're more aware, you're paying attention to what you're doing, like you're more deliberate.
You have to figure it out.
If you're comfortable and confident, like you're more, and you just become complacent. And like,
I was talking to the guy last year, Stu, the Australian guy, and I was like, man, what'd you do if something happened? He goes, honestly, bro, people will always drive by. If you're on the track, they'll drive by. So as long as you have a tent and some and water.
Yeah.
He's like, eventually people are going to drive by.
Yeah. I mean,
so that was a huge relief for me.
And I imagine the people that are driving by out there have very little malicious intent. Very few of them.
The further I got away from civilization, the more generous and more courteous people became.
That's
and that's how it is everywhere.
I was going to say that applies here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Those people have to fight for themselves, because in a city you've always got to fight for yourself. Nobody gives a fuck about you in a city.
Yep. No.
But like out in the bush or out in the cut, everyone's struggling, and you're just out there and helping people.
I love the kindness, though, man. It's just so...
it's unbelievable.
It's very refreshing, actually.
Yeah.
It's really refreshing to see that other people care about other people and not just themselves.
Yeah.
Because, like, in the city, like, somebody could be getting murdered and people just walking by, like, I got to catch the subway. Like, damn, that's
I don't want to be late to work.
Yeah, I don't really like cities. Like, when I travel, I avoid cities as much as possible.
You just fly in and fly out.
I fly in and fly out.
Get on a motorcycle and just end up in the smallest nearest town.
Yeah. That's where the good stuff is, man.
Yeah,
it really is. Yeah. That's where the good stuff is.
My wife and I are talking about going to Iceland next year.
Oh, nice. I went a couple years ago. You guys are going to love it.
Yeah, well, that's like it's been on my list for a long time, and she's got a coworker who's from Iceland. She's an Icelandic citizen. So I'm like, I don't want to plan anything. I want to fly in and like I just want to go explore like.
You're going to rent a car, right? Or a vehicle?
Yeah.
4x4?
Yeah. Right, we'll definitely do a 4x4.
They have some cool off-road in there. They're called F-roads.
Yep.
Have you seen that?
Yep.
Oh
yeah.
my God,
I'm aware. And that's why I told my wife, I was like, because like we can rent a full overland vehicle up there. I'm like, we can go overland all the F-roads, and it's mapped. It's like it's super easy. I know it's difficult wheeling, but like we're no stranger to that. So
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's also pretty commonly traveled where if you run into a situation, someone's going to drive by at some point.
Eventually.
Yeah.
I've talked to her coworker at company Christmas parties and picnics and whatnot. I'm just like, and she's like, if you go, let me know. Like, we'll go out. There's places that I can take you. I've got friends that do it.
How many days do you think you'd do?
I would like to at least do a week.
Oh man, I was gonna say more. You need more. If you can.
As a small business owner.
Yeah, as a small business owner, that's 2 days is difficult, and then I have a 1-year-old, so like.
Okay. Yeah. I feel you.
Next year, like a week is enough to feel like I've got the experience, but I would do a month there, but
yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're a small business owner, I don't think you could afford it then because it's
I definitely can't. I can
most
barely
expensive
afford
country
the
I've ever
week.
been to was Iceland.
Yeah.
By far, most expensive country.
Yeah. The thing that
I heard that about Switzerland is
unbelievably
expensive.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
The thing
I've heard that too.
I find so fascinating about
I feel
Iceland.
like we're being very out of touch with our listener base right now.
Yeah, probably.
Whatever. You're enjoying the conversation.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Tim just assumes that everybody, like all of our friends, are also poor like us.
Yeah.
The irony is we probably have listeners who have way more money than we do.
Way more money. I've done a lot more traveling.
Which is a good segue. Buy our T-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get one of those, bro. I need one of those, man.
Yeah.
I like those.
Yeah, we'll set you up.
We'll set you up.
It's a good color too.
Yeah.
But there was no bridges or paved roads until World War II in the country of Iceland. Like, that's such a fascinating fact to me that, like, they were probably similar to Mongolia. They just kind of lived their lives and did what they needed to do to survive, and that was it.
And, bro, I had to cross rivers on my motorcycle, and it's like, what? I didn't even know that was I was up to my, basically like a little bit up to my thigh on the motorcycle.
You just turn it off and plug the intake and just roll it across?
Nah, I just drove across. The exhaust pipe completely submerged, bro.
Bubbling.
Yeah.
I really had no idea what I was doing.
Did you research like that? Like, did you bring gear with you? Or no, nothing.
Nah, I mean,
helmet? Did you at least have a helmet?
I did invest in a very good helmet.
Yeah.
I had to because I wasn't going to. I was just gonna get a helmet from the company, but I was talking to somebody after one of my speaking programs.
Yeah.
He's a motorcycle driver.
Yeah.
He's like, honestly, man, you really need to invest in your own helmet.
Yeah.
He's like, whether you're a beginner or not, 6 weeks is a long time.
It's comfort, if nothing else.
Yeah, and honestly, the first time I crashed, I was like, man, that was a good idea.
Yep.
That was a really, really good idea. I did bring, so the company that you rent the motorcycle from, they give you a spare tire, like a deflated, a tube.
Yeah.
They give you some wrenches and other tools that you can use.
You're going off road.
They give you a spare chain if you wanted to change it.
That's cool.
I never changed mine though. I mean, I probably should have, but I think it was fine. I tightened it a bunch.
I don't know if you.
Yeah. You don't really.
I kept it greased up a lot.
Yeah.
Too, so.
I think it's probably there in case you break it more.
Yeah,
than
I think
anything.
so. I think so.
Spare parts.
And then on top of that, I brought my own tools.
Yeah.
I brought a car charger air compressor.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's a good idea.
Just to just to be safe. Like I have no idea. I bought like those MRE meals.
So you went prepared?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Everything except knowing how to drive a motorcycle.
Did you fly with all that there?
the important part.
Yeah.
So you're learning the clutch as you're sitting there.
So I actually took.
Stomp that motherfucker.
Okay.
I got.
You might run out of cable.
I did take a.
Ha.
I did take like a little mini course in New Jersey. You drive a motorcycle on a parking lot and you get your license at the end.
Nice.
Oh, I guess that's a fair question. You probably had to have a license to rent it.
No.
No?
No, they never asked once. They said, "Have you been on a motorcycle before?" I was like, "Yeah." Okay. See ya.
Fair enough.
Have fun.
Yeah. So I did do that, but it was my first time ever on a motorcycle, like on the road.
Right. Yeah.
And when I first
it's intimidating,
dude. When I first left Ulaanbaatar, which is the capital, traffic like there is unlike anything I've ever seen in my life.
Do they follow traffic patterns, or is it free for all?
It's a free for all.
Yeah.
Like tractor trailers cutting each other off.
Yeah.
And my first 5 minutes, I had to go through a roundabout on a motorcycle. And I felt like a baby sea turtle trying to make it to the ocean. I really did.
Seagull swooping
Just go
down.
straight across the roundabout at that point.
I'll never forget that, bro. I was sweating so hard. I was so nervous when I left.
Fuck this.
I was so nervous when I left. I was
what am I doing?
Yeah.
I remember in college my buddies and I did a spring break cruise. We got off the ship in the Bahamas and rented scooters.
Nice.
And in the Bahamas, they drive on the opposite side of the road.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because it's basically a British colony still.
Right.
So we were, they warned us at the moped place, like, just remember you're on the other side of the road, like crazy Americans. We're like, yeah, no problem. And like riding the motorcycle was fine on the other side of the road because you're not in a car, so you're not way off.
Yeah.
But twice we did it. We went around the wrong way on a circle on a roundabout.
Wow.
Because you come to a roundabout and you're like, I'm just going to go counterclockwise like we always do. But it's actually clockwise when it's the opposite side of the road. And then when we were making like a right-hand turn, you have to cross traffic. So like I did it twice to myself where like, I'm like, okay, I'm crossing traffic. And I look left and then I look right. But the cars are coming the opposite direction, and you're crossing the right hand, like would like pull out in front of cars, and it's like, oh man.
I heard the trick for that, like a quick one, is when you're driving on the left side of the road, it's a short left and a long right.
Yeah.
If you, any of you listeners out there need any advice, if you're like in the middle heat of the moment, short left, long right.
Yep. Yeah, but if you don't look the right direction, because you're like in the U.S., if I'm crossing traffic, I'm looking this way.
Yeah.
So I'm looking this way and turning this way like an idiot.
Yeah, that's one thing I researched heavily before I decided to drive 2 hours in a different country. And I'm like,
there's not that many countries that are left-hand drive.
There's not at all.
Japan's one of them.
Japan,
Australia,
and a bunch in Africa,
and
the UK,
like London.
Yeah,
the UK, London.
Anything that was a British colony, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything else is right-hand drive.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Right-hand drive, but
left-hand drive.
Left-hand drive. Like driving on the road, but
Yeah.
right-hand drive cars.
Yeah.
Which is fucking so cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Do you guys know how to drive stick?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think it's kind of like the same principles of shifting on a motorcycle?
Very easy. Have you never driven stick?
No.
Really?
Never.
The only big difference, and it's a big difference mechanically, most motorcycles are a viscous clutch system, so they're wet, they're like cooled and oiled, so they're designed to slip. So like on a motorcycle where you slowly let the clutch out as you start to move, you don't really want to do that in a car or a truck because it'll just burn the clutch up.
Yeah.
I see.
So it's on a truck, as you let the pedal out, you'll start rolling, and then you just come off the pedal entirely, and you're good to drive.
Okay. So
everything
it's a lot quicker.
Yeah. After that, everything else is the same.
Okay. I'd like to learn how to drive manual. I think
it's pretty
I
easy.
think it's good to know. I mean,
If you understand the concept of shifting gears and like when to shift,
I do now.
it's easy.
Learning to drive on a truck or a Jeep.
Yeah.
Standard is a lot easier because the gears are so much lower.
Yeah.
So you don't need any gas. You just let off the clutch. Like
What
if you're
do
driving
you
a
mean
car,
lower.
It
Gear
takes,
ratio.
Yeah, it takes more spins of the drive shaft to spin the tires. So you can literally just let the clutch out, and it'll pull it. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So like the just think like a mountain bike gear ratio. The taller the gear ratio, the less effort you need to put in to move something heavy.
So no gas, you just let off the clutch slowly, and it just pulls you forward.
Like in a Jeep, if you put it in 4 low and like
dump the clutch
like you can let your foot off the clutch, never touch the gas, and the Jeep will roll because it has so much gear reduction and torque.
I see what you're saying now.
So it's easier to learn on that. Then you go to like the hardest thing I've ever driven was an S2000 that made like 1,000 horsepower to dealership.
Well,
which was a pain in the ass.
What kind of car is that?
It's a Honda.
A Honda Roadster convertible thing.
But you need to rev it and like balance the clutch to get it out because it's such a high revving car with such a high first gear that it's easier to learn on a truck or Jeep.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it one day for sure.
It's not difficult.
Nah, I can't imagine.
Just have it come out and drive AK's Jeep. You can't fuck that thing up anymore.
Really?
We have a buddy who's got 50,000 miles on his Jeep. He's wheeled with us a bunch, and he is on his 3rd clutch just because the amount of off-roading he does. He just eats it up.
And he's the one that drives standard.
And he's a big motorcycle guy. He's got a Ducati adventure bike, and he drives his Jeep like it's the motorcycle.
Okay.
And for the last 10 years, we're like, dude, stop riding your clutch. And he's like, but I don't want to go faster. And we're like, then do that with the gas and the brake. Stop using your clutch as a brake.
True.
It's very expensive to replace.
True. And it's the same car?
He's a 2nd motor, 3rd clutch.
Wow.
50,000 miles.
He's the only one that I know that wheels standard though.
Yeah. At least in our group.
Our group, yeah.
I think my next car is gonna be a 4x4. I think I'm ready for that.
You look like a 4Runner guy. You look like an FJ Cruiser guy.
No. He's a Grenadier guy.
Oh, you are a Grenadier guy.
The new Ineo, they're not. No, I don't think anybody's here, but they have a boot like
the ride and drive that was going on, the dirt circle.
Oh, okay.
That's just the Ineos Grenadier. They're very nice, but I don't know how much you make, and I don't know if you could afford one.
Nah, probably not. Probably not. I want to get a Toyota Highlander, man. Those are sweet.
They are nice.
The
older one.
You could the new Land Cruiser. I don't. Again, budget would be a factor. I think they start at like 55.
Yeah. Damn, that sucks.
New cars are crazy.
Oh, it's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like for what?
Although we could probably get them in an XJ.
Definitely get you an XJ.
What is that?
Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah, the '90s Jeep.
I heard Jeeps suck though.
Nah,
Jeeps do suck.
I mean, they do, but they're cheap. They're cheap and easy.
Okay.
Like, fucking Christ.
I just flew away.
Yeah, I didn't.
I mean, I'm sure I'll be back.
Yeah, there's another one. If anybody wants to kill that one,
That was an easy one.
It's getting out of hand.
It is getting out of hand.
It's a massacre.
So what? I mean, you just want to? Do you want to start exploring the states more? Is that what you want a 4x4?
Nah, it just I feel like I'm really tired of camping out of my car. It sucks.
Have you done any exploring in the states?
Oh yeah, a bunch. I've
Okay.
done like 2 or 3 cross country road trips. Like that Toyota Camry I had.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
you guys haven't seen it yet because it's gone now. But,
We heard about it.
yeah, I did a 6-week road trip on that thing
Nice.
from Jersey to Crater Lake to Charleston, South Carolina, then back to Jersey.
That's awesome.
Man, I love that car. I miss that car.
yeah.
Rest in peace to Odysseus, man. That was my boy.
Odysseus.
What a
It's a great,
savage.
it's a great,
great
name for
name.
a car. Yeah.
Such a savage,
Great name for a
man.
Camry.
Yeah.
God, I love that car.
Was it gray?
Yeah.
It's a Camry.
Fair.
They're
Yeah.
all
They're all a
every
shade
single
of-
one of them is 3
But
different shades
here's
of
the
gray
best
or
part,
silver.
though. I bought it when I was living in Arizona, so
Yeah.
the paint had been like
Peeling.
completely.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't peeling. It was gone. It was like literally
Well,
just the
yeah.
body of the car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's not because of Arizona. They all do that.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That's
That's true.
literally a Toyota problem. I could see him being an 80 series guy too.
80 series are cool.
One of those.
Yeah,
that
the,
red one.
The red one right
I
there.
would like that. I would like that.
Yeah, it's a Toyota Land Cruiser.
They're
That'd be
not,
cool.
They're not affordable, but they're like not affordable, like $22,000.
No, you can get a decent one. Here's the problem. It's an earlier mid 90s SUV.
Yeah.
That still sells for $10,000 to $15,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
With like 300,000 miles on them. But if you're a Toyota guy, like that's like the standard
No,
of
I'm
Toyota
Toyota.
SUV.
I'm Toyota forever.
Yeah, that's what you want then.
And you can't. I mean,
Toyota
other than
Land
new
Cruiser.
ones-
Yeah, Toyota and the FJ80 Toyota Land Cruiser.
You think I'm better off like buying an old one and then just fixing it up, kind of deal?
You seem like you would enjoy that more.
Yeah.
Like less technology.
Yeah,
to
you're not
rely
if you're
on.
not afraid to learn something and
Yeah.
you have a YouTube account. Yeah, like I mean, they are relatively simple to work on.
Yeah.
Parts are plentiful.
I don't have the facilities though to like jack it up or
You don't
anything.
need
or-
to.
No.
I
You
started
got
the bit-
friends. You got friends in Virginia
That too,
has
yeah.
he has a 4x4 shop.
Okay. Cool.
and I
cool.
also I
Have
mean,
places to stay.
I started
Yeah.
the shop in my driveway.
Nice.
So it's like you can maintain
Yeah,
anything
and if you,
in a parking
I mean,
lot.
the guy that we had on last night, Jordan Davis.
Oh, yeah.
He has a full tube. It might as well be a tube chassis
yeah.
rock crawler on 42-inch tires, and he built it out of his brother's garage when he was living in an apartment.
Nice.
Yeah, and now he keeps it in a storage unit.
Yeah, now he keeps it in a storage unit. He
maintains
doesn't.
it,
He
yeah.
doesn't have a shop. He doesn't have a garage.
Shit, coming
I
back
mean,
from
you-
Moab, we did a fuel pump in our buddy's Jeep in the parking lot in AutoZone.
That's
we spent
awesome.
6 hours in a parking lot
Yeah,
changing the fuel pump.
people in need,
That's
like
cool.
like the automotive community recognize that
Yeah.
we're all people in need. So
Yeah.
you don't need anything fancy to build something cool.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome. The these new cars, like I'm on Carvana or whatever, because like I'm tired.
Crazy
I'm
expensive.
tired
Yeah.
of getting cars off Facebook though, and they suck, and then like
Yeah.
you know, then you're fucked. But I'm looking at Carvana. I'm like, man, all these new cars, they don't have keys.
Yeah.
I hate
So-
that,
yeah.
dude. I hate a button. I have to push a button
I
to
don't
start
like
my
a
car.
button.
Hell no.
80 series Land Cruiser.
80 series Land Cruiser.
If you want to be
absolutely.
bougie about it, you can get the Lexus version.
Lexuses are cool.
Yeah, it's the same exact truck. It just has a Lexus badge and it costs twice as much.
Nah, I'm a Toyota forever.
It is
It is a Toyota. It's the exact
No,
same.
I know, but
vehicle.
that's what I'm saying. I'm Toyota forever.
Yeah, Land Cruiser would suit you well, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of good adventuring to be done. Those things can go almost anywhere,
Yeah.
Nice.
depending on how you build them. But
Well, and that's bone stock. They're pretty capable
Yeah.
little trucks, and they're rugged. They're solid. Like you won't have major
and
problems.
they're
with them.
absolutely tried and true.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no, Toyota's honestly the best.
Yeah.
It really. Oh my
Well-
god, what a car.
yeah,
Yeah. What are you driving currently?
a motorcycle in Mongolia.
Yeah, no.
Or did you sell off your last car to go before you
No,
left?
I bought a car before I left. It's a 04 Lexus.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It sucks. I hate it.
Yeah.
There's so many problems with it.
That's the Lexus has all the
bells and
creature
whistles,
comfort
yeah.
electronic stuff that fails.
You know what it is? It's not even so much because of the Lexus. It's because the guy I bought it from is just a snake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Said-
North Jersey used car dealer.
North Jersey Facebook group.
Yeah, that's
Same
worse.
thing.
That's worse than.
I didn't have a
yeah.
choice though. Like I had some coming up. I forget what it was now, but I needed a car. Like I just didn't have
Yeah.
a choice. So
So I always feel weird asking this question. As a young man in your 30s, how do you afford to travel like this?
yeah.
You can tell me to fuck off if you don't want to.
No. It's fine. It's fine. It's cool.
Like, because it's wild to see people just take 6 weeks off and just go explore a foreign country when like I know my lifestyle and I know how I do, and I know I couldn't, the way I live, I couldn't do that.
Yeah. So number one, it's not about how much money I make; it's about how much money I keep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't. I've had this shirt for 7 years now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't really like to go out and buy new things. I don't need to buy new things. I don't really like to go out and drink that much. I don't like to go out for food that much. Yep. Obviously, it's different if I'm having a good month or whatever.
Yeah.
But another thing too is though, like when I travel, it's really bare minimums, man. Like I'm staying in places for $5, $10 a night.
I mean, I would imagine the initial plane ticket to Mongolia is not cheap.
Actually, so I use an app called Skyscanner. I got my flight I got a one-way to Mongolia because I was flying back from Japan. I got a one-way to Mongolia from New York for $500.
That's not bad. Yeah. I like
Skyscanner.
Skyscanner.
Skiplag.
Oh, I've heard of Skiplag too.
I've used that a few times to get around.
Very nice.
And you can get flagged by airlines for using it because it takes connecting flights.
Yeah.
But it finds the one where you want to go as the middle flight, and it's just cheaper to fly to the middle.
You're catching
location.
the second leg of whatever.
You're catching the first leg or the second leg.
Running, yeah.
Oh, I've heard of that.
I've had friends that have gotten banned because they've used it too much. Blacklisted from airlines because they've used it too much, and they haven't completed the second leg of the flight.
Oh.
But it's just cheaper. It's cheaper to go to Denver if you're flying to L.A.
Right.
And you just get off in Denver.
Right.
I don't know how that works.
I don't see why the airline would care though.
Because you're not completing the leg of your flight.
Yeah, but
you're not checking in.
But it's paid for.
It's
paid for, and then
they get to fill a seat.
But that's also why stuff gets double booked because like the guy on standby that's going from Denver to LA is now getting a seat, and they're getting paid by him now for the seat that you already technically paid for.
Yeah, I've had a few.
Why would they care?
Friends get banned off of those. Though. Yeah, I don't get it.
That's a good question. Why would they care? Seat's paid for.
Yeah,
fascinating.
And it's one less person they have to care about.
Yeah, they can now sell it again.
Right,
which is what they do anyway. Whether you're using it or not.
Man, I will say this, though. Flying, there is no worse mode of transportation.
I hate it.
I'm not scared of flying. I don't know. It's just
it's awful.
The entire experience is so miserable.
Yeah.
Everybody's miserable.
I'd rather buy a cell phone, and buying cell phones suck.
Yeah.
You don't have a cell phone?
No. I'd rather just buy a new cell phone than to take a flight.
Yeah.
But the experience of buying a cell phone is worse than buying a car, I think. It's so bad buying a cell phone.
That's my biggest thing that keeps me from traveling more is flying. Yeah. I love a road trip. I will drive anywhere and everywhere I can.
What's your cutoff to road trip or fly? So if it's more than 9 hours, I think I'd fly if it's more than a 9-hour drive.
It's what I'm doing though. Like our road trip to Moab, right? Like
we
obviously driving that, but like even like for Vegas when we went to SEMA, that road trip that was with part of that trip, right? Like if I'm going to Vegas for 2 days and I have meetings I need to go to, like I'm not going to spend 3 days to drive there and 3 days to drive home.
But like if you need to go to Charleston for 2 days for meetings, it's 9 hours.
I would probably drive that. I would probably drive Charleston.
How far is that for you?
9 hours.
9 hours.
Yeah, I would drive that too.
Yeah, I think 9 hours is my break.
And anything that's not overnight. Yeah, anything that's not an overnight drive.
Yeah, it depends how much time you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
One time, and this is a funny story. I like hockey. I like the New York Rangers, and they.
Let's go Rangers.
You might remember this game because I still think about this game. I really, really do.
Okay.
It was the playoffs. I think it was like 2014 or 2015 or 2016, somewhere around there, and they were playing the Ottawa Senators, and tickets to Madison Square Garden. One ticket was like $300.
That sounds about right.
And
it's actually probably a good deal for a playoff game.
So I went to StubHub. StubHub, and I saw tickets in Ottawa were $20 a ticket. So I said,
so the flight was cheaper.
So I asked my friend.
Ottawa's not that far.
I asked my friend. I was like, "Yo, Allie, you wanna go to the game with me?" She's like, "How are we gonna go?" I was like, "We'll leave right now."
Yeah.
Drove there.
Yep. Probably 6 hours.
I think it was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Drove there, watched the game. They lost on a heartbreaking goal, like an impossible goal from the corner. That whole series was ridiculous.
Yes.
That whole series, they should have won that. They should have won 8 games in that series, and they ended up losing like 4-1 or something. Oh my god.
Typical Rangers, but another podcast.
New York teams.
But real quick, go New York Mets. By the way,
go Mets.
I literally caught the bottom of the ninth the other night.
Dude, I'm in my tent.
Yeah.
Listening to it on the radio.
Yep.
Oh my god, that was amazing, bro. Yeah. That was amazing.
Yeah. So I like how New Yorkers are all Mets fans.
No, not true. Not true.
Really not though.
Not
Really?
true.
No, yeah.
Oh,
lot of Yankee fans.
So all the New Yorker podcasts I listen to, they're all Mets fans.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're listening to good podcasts then.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
Chris Stefano. He's
Oh
fucking
yeah.
hilarious.
That's fine.
And it's also because of Gearhead Coffee is, just amazing. But so yeah, then after the game, we drove back, which was a horrible drive. The entire trip, drive, gas, crossing a border, everything was still cheaper than one ticket to Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was unbelievable.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It was one of the worst drives home in my life.
Yeah.
'Cause we should have stayed the night.
I was gonna say.
Oh, you drove home the night of?
Yeah.
Oof.
That was
That's tough.
irresponsible. That was
Yeah.
irresponsible.
That's
Not because
tough.
I was drunk. I wasn't drunk, but I was so tired.
Yeah. That's almost
Dude.
worse.
Yeah.
I've made that
It's
joke.
absolutely
I've
worse.
made that joke to my wife.
You gotta shake your head to keep
it was,
yourself awake.
It was
Yeah.
leaving your wedding. We had just gotten the key of leaving your wedding, driving home from the restaurant. I was hammered, so obviously I wasn't driving. But she forgot her glasses, driving at night without glasses, and she was exhausted. And the Kia reads the line, so it beeps at you if you start like drifting.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So I'm hammered in the passenger seat, and the car's just beep 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. I'm like, do I need to drive? Like, what
might
are
as
you
well.
doing? And she's like, I can't see. I don't have my glasses. I was like, I don't know what's more dangerous.
It was raining that night, too.
It was. I was like, I don't know if it's more dangerous for me to drive drunk or you to drive blind and tired.
Man, that's tough.
Right? Like it's equally as bad. One's just illegal and one's not.
Yeah. One's a little bit harder to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Speaking of which, do you have to wear contacts or glasses?
No.
Do you?
No.
I have to do it. I hate it. I think I'm gonna get LASIK surgery, honestly.
I was saying that's got to make the travel side a little bit more difficult. If you're camping,
You wore glasses when you were there, didn't you?
Yeah. But here's the thing: it's like I'm on the side of a mountain in Mongolia, right?
trying to keep dust out of your contacts.
I'm on the side of a mountain in Mongolia. I'm like this, having a conversation with someone. I go, hold on one second.
Yeah.
And they don't know what that means because
Yeah.
they're nomadic in Mongolia.
Because their vision's good, or they just don't have no idea that it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
like, where are my glasses?
Yeah.
I go, sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah,
What's going on?
that's- yeah,
Like, I'm
that's
so tired of
awful.
that.
Yeah.
My hands are disgusting.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm putting them into my eye.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get that done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that done.
That's definitely a good idea.
But you know what's crazy though, real quick about Mongolia? There's the challenges of off-roading and then being on concrete with a motorcycle, man. It's insane.
it's a totally different riding
Like
experience.
off-roading had its difficulties and it was very challenging. But
Yeah.
bro, driving a motorcycle on a highway is fucked
Frightening.
up. The wind,
Yeah.
the
So,
wind.
Yeah.
You're never gonna ride a bike again. I don't know
Well,
about never, but
Nah, I
you're
probably
you're
will.
not buying one.
I bought a motorcycle before I left. Actually.
did you really?
I got off Facebook for $400. I had to.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
It's a Suzuki LS650 Savage.
That sounds like a street bike.
I was saying.
No, it looks like a Harley.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
saying it's a cruiser bike. Yeah.
It doesn't work, but I have to get it fixed. But for $400, I couldn't pass it.
Yeah,
up.
you go.
I mean, you can.
YouTube certified. Just
My
YouTube it.
my,
Yeah.
my wife tells me I can pass those up. So apparently you can.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but I'm still
His wife doesn't care.
I'm still trying to
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah, my wife doesn't care.
The problem is
That's because I don't have a wife.
Yeah. Makes it easy.
Definitely.
Future Tom Duck.
that's how he affords all the travel.
That helps too. That helps too.
So what do you do for work that lets you take off 6 weeks? Are you just like are you just traveling around to different shows like this and
So this is my second year here at Overland Expo. I've only spoken in terms of expos and like conferences.
Yeah.
At Overland Expo, so I'm definitely trying to
Okay.
expand on that.
are you gonna try and go to like the different expos next year?
I'm gonna bring that up to the program coordinator, the director of the
Yeah.
event,
Yeah.
Azure. She's the best, by the way. You guys
Yeah, we've heard a lot about her.
she's the best. You guys gotta
Yeah.
meet her. She's really
Well,
cool.
so when
I'm
originally
surprised you guys don't teach a class here.
We actually talked about it, but
like
somebody
doing a live
dragged his feet.
podcast. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
So I mean, next year I'd love to do a live
Yeah.
podcast and like hang out and
Yeah.
like do a booth where it's just like
Yo,
the two
you know
of
what
us
you should
talking.
do? They have a giant tent up there
Yeah.
with nothing happening.
Yeah.
You can sit on the stage and have an hour, 2 hour just
Yeah.
talk show.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
need to bring
that's-
speakers for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. We talked.
I'll come speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
No,
talked
like,
about
like
doing it.
speakers so people can hear us talk in the
Yeah.
crowd.
No, they have speakers.
Oh, I need to figure out how to plug into it. But yeah, no,
There-
I'd be
yeah,
all
there's
about
definitely-
that.
sure
there's
they-
definitely
no,
an output
No,
on
no, no.
this.
But
Yeah.
they have like people who speak there at night, so it's
Yeah,
already set
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You need to do that.
Yeah, it'd
That'd
be
be
fun.
cool.
We tossed around the idea of a live podcast. I just couldn't get a hold of anybody, so I'll have to get her information.
Azure. Talk to
Yeah.
Azure. Yeah, definitely. I'll give it, yeah.
Because that'd be fun as shit. Is like,
Dude, that'd be
like
amazing.
do this same conversation just
Yeah.
like this in front of 50 people.
Yeah.
and just have like at the end have people ask questions about like questions that we didn't
Yeah.
ask.
100%, dude.
That'd be
I think
cool.
That's a great idea.
That'd be really
Yeah.
fun.
And every single,
Oh fucker!
every single.
I was more scared of you grabbing my face.
Sorry,
Just come over here like
This
this.
is going to be a chaotic video.
bro. Every speaker can go up there and talk.
Yeah.
about their experiences and just touch on things and whatever.
Be a long episode.
But dude, the public speaking. So I do a lot of public speaking. That's my job. Public speaker, photographer.
Yeah. So the pictures you were showing, were those yours?
Those are my pictures. Yeah,
that's
those are my
awesome.
photos.
Those fucking. I'm like, he actually knows what he's talking about. Like,
I appreciate
like
that.
the rule of thirds and like the more sky, more water.
Yeah.
The mountains disappearing into the back. I'm like, he's fucking a smart guy.
That was a cool one, man.
He's smarter than I remember from last year.
The crazy guy just going to third world countries for fun.
Yeah, dude. And so in May, June, July, I had 87 speaking programs in May, June, July.
Awesome, man.
So that's starting to pick up. The photography's doing well. I started a tour company last year. I bring people to Guatemala on 7-day itineraries. So I got that going for me right now.
Nice.
Also, too, man, I'm a bartender. Like
hell yeah.
Yeah, you got that vibe.
If I'm home and I can bartend, why not make some extra money and extra cash?
You're a social guy. You're definitely type A, and you like to talk to people. And I feel like a bartender it's
fun.
Yeah,
it's fun. I mean, it's at a golf club, so it's a little bit of a different vibe.
Yeah,
big tips.
That's good money.
But here's the thing, though. On a Saturday, I'm done by midnight.
Right.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
What bartender gets out?
None of them. Most of them are starting at midnight.
But that's the thing, and you know what? Like that's a young man's game, and I don't want to do that anymore. Again, that doesn't align with my lifestyle anymore.
Right.
So it's nice to be able to just be social, meet some people.
Drones.
That's a bad one.
That's loud. That's far away, and that's loud.
It sounds like a banshee.
One of those race drones.
Yeah. Also, too, when I'm home during the spring, I umpire baseball, kids baseball.
Okay.
That's fun.
I got a buddy from Long Island that does that currently.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Northern Virginia as a coworker, but on nights and weekends he's a baseball umpire.
Yeah, it's good cash. It's nice. Yeah, I love baseball. I still play baseball to this day, so I can kind of get
that's
my
how I am
fix.
with hockey.
And you get to
big hockey guy.
Get to try and make a good impact on the Utes.
Maybe not even so much that because they're hopeless anyway. Honestly, like the kids
buried
in
in
this
the
league,
phones.
they're not baseball players.
Yeah, it's one thing I respect about you is like when you're doing these trips, you're doing this for you.
Yeah.
You don't do it for your social media following. You're just like, I'm gonna go explore and have a great fucking time.
Yeah. And that's really interesting that you bring that up because on that trip to Mongolia, I was like, man, I hope I never become a slave to my passion.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really hope that I don't lose this balance of like just doing something because
it's fun and
I
you
feel
want to.
I feel obligated now to do it. It's not because I want to do it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, maybe if I invested more in my like social media appearances and stuff like that, maybe I'd be quote unquote further along, whatever that means.
I don't
but
care.
I mean, it's just like
it doesn't. As long like
I don't do it. I do it because I love this.
Go out there, do cool things, and talk to cool people, and that's all that you need. Is just. I mean, I know from
any
our
money you
experience,
put in your pocket from there is bonus.
Yeah, it's great.
Just us being out there and being open to have conversations have led to some so many conversations and meeting so many cool people.
Definitely.
And that's just being willing. Like our social media is shit.
It's
not good.
Speaking,
no, me too. Me too.
Like
me too.
for a trying to be a successful podcast. Like I came here to talk to people. I didn't come here to post on Instagram.
Yeah. I agree. And oh man, what was I gonna say? I forget. I think it'll come back though. It'll probably come back on the rebound.
Oh, you're good.
But yeah, no, it's been cool being here at Overland Expo. I just like
It's
the
a cool
community.
event.
I like the fact that
This is a great community.
I don't have to talk defensively about traveling.
Yeah.
When I'm at these places.
Yeah.
I can speak offensively.
Do you have that in your normal life at home? Is you have to defend your travels?
Not so much as it used to be. I've been doing this for 10 years now.
Yeah.
In the beginning,
your friends and family just expect it when like before 5 years ago, 6 years ago, you'd be like, hey, I'm going to fucking
wherever
Bangladesh, and they're like, why would you go there?
Exactly.
And now they're just like, oh, Chris is going somewhere again.
When are you gonna get a job?
Yeah.
When are you gonna do that? I'm like, yo, you guys just don't get it.
Yeah.
It's different.
This is me. This is who I am. I can't control this. Like I didn't. There's been voices and whispers in my head of like, maybe you should stop. Maybe you should
settle down, find a
get a job, whatever. But then it's like when I try to do that,
but
or I've thought about it, it's like something won't let me do that.
I will say the worst part about my life is hearing the fluorescent bulbs burn in my office. Because you can hear the fluorescent bulbs burn, and I hear them every day, and it drains the life of me.
Yeah.
And then I see you're in fucking Mongolia, and I'm like, fuck.
You'll get out there, bro. You'll get out there.
I know.
It's really, really cool out there.
It's awesome that you get to do that, and don't take that desk job. Don't fucking.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. Desk job made me think about it. So I speak at like senior centers or like retirement homes.
Okay.
And these are people who are like in their 80s and their 90s. And in the beginning, and I still speak at them now, but in the beginning when I was first starting to do it, a lot of the seniors would come up to me after and they would say, "Don't stop what you're doing."
Yeah, absolutely.
These are people who are 97 years old on the end of their life,
Yep.
telling me what you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing.
Well,
Don't ever stop.
Because everyone wants to travel. Like, hey, when I retire, I'm going to travel. When I do this, I'm going to travel.
Right.
Yeah.
Just do it now.
Yeah.
Just go now.
Exactly.
Is like, I have this big dream of doing the Appalachian Trail. I want to hike end to end, nonstop the Appalachian Trail. But like, I don't know where I can do it, and I just want to pull the trigger, but it doesn't, like, I'm like, maybe one day I can do it.
Be careful, bro.
I know. It
Be
fucking
careful.
kills me.
Be careful.
And everyone says just go. I'm like,
I'm very
it's so nerve wracking. Like, we've got a guy in this group right now is doing the Trans-American Trail. It's like
I've heard about that.
It's like a 3-month
It's
off-road
like Tennessee
trail.
to Oregon?
Yeah.
It's Outer Banks to Oregon.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the Outer Banks, North Carolina.
Wow.
So it actually comes basically through here.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
the
a guy
East
from this
Coast
group
side.
is
Idaho.
just got off a tour in the Navy, and he took 3 months off or something.
I think it
doing
was his last tour.
Yeah.
In the Navy, if I remember.
But I'm like, God,
correctly.
that'd be so cool too. And
Yeah.
man,
You should do it, bro.
I know,
We're
I
stopping
know, I
you.
should.
We're stopping you.
Just
Like the finance?
security.
Security and what?
I've got a good job. I've got a nice house. I've got a beautiful wife. It's just,
The wife's not gonna go anywhere.
I don't know.
No.
She gets tired of me sometimes. It's
Perfect. You go away for 6 months.
I was going to say that actually works in your favor.
future Tim.
So
Duck.
here's what I say to people all the time.
It's
you go,
security
you go.
though. It's like I've got a retirement. I know I've got
Even-
this, that. Like, it's
Retirement?
yeah. I have a retirement account that I'm putting money into. I'm like,
Even if
it's
you-
just I know that
if you
it's
take
it's
all
security
of, that,
life.
If you take all of that out of the equation, right? Like I own my own business. I can go take 6 months off if I want, right? I'll deal with the headaches when I get home.
Yep.
But like for what I enjoy doing, the off-road side of it, the overland side of it, if for me to load up that Jeep and drive that across the country, it's going to cost $5,000-$6,000. And like, just because I'm gone for a month doesn't mean the mortgage doesn't have to get paid.
Yeah.
The car payments don't get paid. Like, there's so many other
Variables.
that go into planning that travel, and it's like, it's making a plan, right? Like we talked about the Moab trip for a year. Our buddy was like, we got to do a good wheeling trip. And finally I was like, let's go to Moab. I'm like, I know the area. It's an easy one. It's easy four-wheeling. Like, we can plan it. And I was like, okay. And we sat down and we said, we're like, this is the weekend we're going to go. Here's the reason we're going. Put the money aside, and you just make it happen. It's not as easy as, in some cases where people just are like, I'm going to go to Ottawa for the hockey game tonight. Like,
Yeah.
just get in the car and go. Like,
Right.
like that's almost easier than being gone for a month.
Easily.
Yeah.
Of course. Absolutely.
And I did it this week. On Monday, one of our competitors was like, hey, we're going to collect stuff for the hurricane victims. Like,
Oh, I heard about that. That's really cool what you did, that man. That's really cool.
And I was like, yeah, why not? And then Wednesday night, he's like, hey, we have a bunch of stuff. Like, we need more drivers. Can you follow us down on Thursday? And I was like, yeah. Like, we had this trip planned. I was going to leave Friday morning. I'm like, move everything up 24 hours, load everything in the Jeep, drove to Charlotte, and then came up here from Charlotte.
And isn't that moment when you're driving down,
it's the best.
when it's so spur of the moment?
free.
Yeah.
It's
Not
free.
even so much spur of the moment, but it's like,
Yeah.
you know what? I didn't plan on doing this
Yeah.
when I woke up this morning,
Yep.
and I'm still alive. Everything's fine.
For me, it was coming back up from Charlotte. I'm driving. I'm by myself, windows down,
Yeah,
music on, and I'm
that's
just
the
like,
best.
this is
That's the best.
like my job is done. I got nothing to worry about. I'm on no timeline.
Yeah.
I just got to make it to this destination at some point in the next 24 hours,
100%, bro.
and it's 2 hours away.
Yeah, I think you said it right. Is the security of knowing I've got a place to come back to.
Right.
Like I've got house payment, car payment, and I know it's all here now. And if I leave it, it may not
Yeah.
be here.
So how long does it take to do the Appalachian Trail?
About 4 months
4 months.
Yeah, if you hike it,
if you
Okay.
hike it.
So
yeah,
if-
that's all you can do is hike it.
So here's the thing. You don't have to.
it's all you're allowed to do. You could drive it if you
Oh,
wanted.
that, yeah, probably won't let
that
you.
wouldn't work very well.
I'd like to see him chase me.
So there's got
I got a Jeep. You're running. Good luck.
they'll just wait for the next highway crossing.
Yeah,
Be like,
I know.
all right, he's there.
Just helicopter.
So there is
Blackhawks
guys.
live one here.
Yeah.
There is guys and girls that section hike it. So they're like, hey,
Yeah.
2 weeks this year, I'm gonna do.
I say.
You can't do Virginia in 2 weeks. Virginia takes a month. But I'm gonna do New York in 2 weeks.
I
and
wouldn't.
then
I would not do it. If I was gonna do it, I would not do it that way.
yeah,
No.
I don't want
One
to.
shot. Let's get it over
Yeah.
with. So 4 months, honestly, if you think
That's
about
your
it.
next trip. Do the
No,
Appalachian Trail.
no, probably not. I want to do it eventually, but probably not.
Yeah.
I think I'm not saying that you need to drop everything and do the Appalachian Trail next month or even next year, but if you just set a date like 2027 of March, this is when I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Then you start saving for that, for those 4 months of expenses, and you give your boss a 1 year heads up.
Hey, I'm taking leave without pay for 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you over the next 2 years, you find a job you can work remotely from a phone.
Yeah.
Not even that though.
Yeah, no.
Have the courage to go up to your boss and say, listen, I'm going to hike the Appalachian Trail.
I want to be there when you do that,
for
by the
4
way.
months. It's 2024. If you told him right now, he wouldn't.
It's just another lanternfly.
The dog's getting the lanternflies now?
Yes.
Here's the thing. If you're good at what you do, he's not going to want to lose you.
Yeah.
Are you good at what you do?
I work for local government. They'll replace me.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, that's fine. I'm sure.
He is good at what he does, but there are 75 people who will
take my job in a minute.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Man, I just feel like you got to do that, man.
Yeah, it's trapped. And then I go into work. I'll be in work on Tuesday, and those same fluorescent bulbs will be buzzing.
And I feel like each year that goes by, man, it's just going to be harder to get out.
Yeah.
Each year. Because life advances, then kids come.
Yep.
Then you got to worry about paying daycare along with your expenses on the trail. And
your Jeep breaks down, you got to pay for that. You got to put a new roof on the house.
So what's the worst thing that could happen if you do it?
Just losing a job. That would be.
That's not that bad.
That's my entire income. It's how I afford my life.
I will side with you on this one. You can get a job when you get back.
You can get a new job.
And what it comes down to is part of the planning for the trip is have your expenses covered for the 4 months as your 4 months.
Which is not. It's like $2,100 for 4 months.
Yeah, I think the worst
between
thing,
that's like hotel every other night.
Right.
If you just maybe you got to ask, right? You don't ask, you don't get in this world.
Yep.
If you just talk to your boss like, yo, I'm doing this 2027, just letting you know now.
Yeah.
You got 3 years.
Yeah. It's assuming I'm still working there.
Exactly. So who knows if you're even going to be there?
I know.
Yeah.
And exactly. Who knows if, like, the other thing is, like, who knows if this is real deep. Real deep. Who knows if we're going to be here tomorrow? What the fuck is going to happen tomorrow?
At the rate things are going, that is a valid question.
I could drive home tomorrow. There could be a hurricane that wipes out my hometown.
Yep.
Like, and fucking just something happens.
100%.
Like, so it's that pulling the trigger.
100%. And for me,
you're motivationally speaking right now.
You're
doing a great job.
No, but like the travel for me, man, it's like you don't know when a place is going to get hit by a natural disaster.
Yeah.
Or if you want to go somewhere and it's like, oh, I'll go next year. And then there's a political unrest and you can't go there now.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or let's say the world does come to an end.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, I can't go there now.
Yeah.
Everyone's dead, but I can't go.
I'm in Virginia now.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
Oh man, I never made it to Iceland.
Yeah.
It melted because it got.
Where's your next big trip?
Man, you know what, bro? I can't even think about that because I'm
you just got back. Home,
I'm so exhausted from this last trip. It's just like I can't even think about that.
Yeah. Do you pick your places of where you go based on what you want to do,
or based on what you want to see?
Did you know I want to go to Mongolia, so I'm going to ride a motorcycle, or were you like, I'm going to do a motorcycle trip, and I think Mongolia would be a fun place to do it?
No, it was the opposite.
Yeah.
I said I want to go to Mongolia, and I was doing more research, and I was learning that it's hard. It's just very hard to backpack there. The public transportation is not great. If you want to do a tour, it's ridiculously overpriced. Like people spend $2,500 for a 9-day tour to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I drove around Mongolia for 6 weeks. Motorcycle and gas cost me $700.
Holy shit! I spent like $300 on gas just in the last 4 days.
But accommodations are $5 a night. You said.
Yeah, maybe 10 sometimes.
Yeah. So altogether, you're $1,600 on a bad day.
We've spent that.
Not including flights.
Yeah.
We've spent that much money for this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
yeah.
I bought a $1,000 tent.
You know what though? The motorcycle, man. I never traveled like that before. Like
it's
abroad.
It's a cool way to travel.
Yeah. Like I've always had to rely on public transportation abroad.
Oh, so you've never had the freedom of your own transportation?
Only in Iceland. Iceland. But it's different because it's an island, right? It's tiny.
Yeah.
But man, being on that motorcycle, bro, that really opened up some eyes for me, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I don't have to rely on anybody. I don't have to walk to the bus station and find out what time the bus is leaving.
It's a cool way to travel, and I think it's a freeing way to travel. But then again, you're on a motorcycle in a foreign country where you don't speak the language, you don't know the traffic patterns.
Yeah, I would be much quicker to get a
shoulder.
car or some sort of.
They started jumping, man.
Yeah.
The language doesn't scare me. Not knowing languages, that doesn't scare me at all.
I figured that out pretty easy. Yeah,
that doesn't scare me at all. Because at the end of the day, you can always play charades with people.
Yeah.
And I've done that for 10 years now.
I think for me, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree. A lot of it's the what if. Like, what if I wreck the motorcycle and break my leg? Like, like
yeah, for sure.
Sure. I know. Like, my wife has a good friend from college who does a ton of traveling, and was in I think it was a cab in like Vietnam. Cab got T-boned, and she was like in a Vietnamese hospital for 6 months until she could fly home to get surgery on her leg. Like, it was a whole thing, and like for my wife, that's every time we travel, like that's what she's worried about.
Yeah,
I'm like, I get it, but at the same time, like it's a freak accident, right?
That could happen anywhere.
Right now, if the way I look at it is, if that happened to me in Charlotte 3 days ago or 2 days, whatever, I don't even know what day. What's today? Saturday? Yeah, 3 days ago.
You could still be stuck in Charlotte for 6 months.
Right, but I would rather. Personally, I'd rather be stuck in Charlotte for 6 months than Myanmar for 6 months.
Of course. I just think that you can't let the what ifs hold you back.
I agree with it.
What if it doesn't happen?
Right.
Yeah. And we could talk about that till we're blue in the face about if it doesn't happen.
More likely, it's not going to happen. And it's just a matter of being prepared for it if it does. And like,
I like his shirt.
Did you just see
I like to rub butts.
And it's a pig. He's smoking a pork butt.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
15 pounds of pork butt.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
that thing right now?
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
That's what that good smell is.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I got the window cracked in the Jeep, so the Jeep will smell like barbecue all the way home.
Man, that is a crazy setup.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crazy setups.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's wild. So going from like backpacking a motorcycle to like $1 million camper RV that's here.
Yeah.
Like have you walked the show at all?
Yeah.
The Winnebago, that's the Winnebago bus.
Unbelievable.
It's fucking beautiful, but it's $350,000.
It's a mortgage.
When you're having more
mortgage.
You're having more fun on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
In Mongolia.
Yeah.
For
and that's the thing.
For $700.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
And he
too.
bought the bike.
You know what's funny? Yo, people were trying to buy the bike off of me during the trip. I was like, yo, I would just give it to you, but the woman I rented it from, she's got my passport, so I have to get that back.
Oh, you didn't get to bring your passport with you on the trip?
That was the collateral.
Wild.
Which is fine. That's actually fine for me.
Yeah.
I don't even want to.
Really?
I don't want to have my passport. She kept it in a safe.
Don't they?
Don't you need that?
I was gonna say, don't you need some sort
of that's your papers?
Well,
I guess they might not care about papers in Mongolia.
Well, I was in the country, so I wasn't leaving the country.
Yeah, but like
when you're driving around, you don't need your passport.
Oh, I was told the opposite. And when I was driving around the Czech Republic, bring your passport with you if you get pulled over.
Yeah, that's your ID.
Really?
That's your ID.
Oh, I mean, I'll photocopy it, like color photocopies. I don't carry my passport.
Wild.
Because you have a better chance of getting robbed or mugged or leaving it in a park or drop it here, drop it there.
Yeah.
Like to me, I always keep my passport in my bag in my bed or in my room where I'm staying.
Okay.
Because to me, I think there's a less chance of your passport getting stolen than you going out into the world with it.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But
you guys rented a car, so like I think that basically becomes your driver's license at that point. So that may be the.
Well, I did have to get an international driver's license, but
that would work too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you have an ID,
that is a form of ID.
Yeah, I have my New Jersey license too. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And it's funny.
So New Jersey.
Yeah, like where's that?
Where is that?
It's so funny when I travel and
charades is. I'm good to drive. I'm good to drive.
No, it's New Jersey, so it's
douche. No, I always tell people who don't really speak English very well when I meet them. They'll say, "Oh, where are you from?" I go, "New York."
Yeah,
we're from DC.
It's just easier.
Yeah,
because it's like you go, "Oh, from New Jersey." It's close to New York. Oh, you're from New York. Yeah.
DC. Yeah,
so
we're from DC.
It's so much easier.
I live at the White House. I live in DC. Fucking Joey's my boy. I don't know.
I'm in the penthouse in the Pentagon.
Yeah. Fucking Hunter's my best friend. Doing coke upstairs.
We went to college together, so I got the hookup. That's awesome.
Man.
That's awesome, man.
But I think we've been going for an hour and a half almost.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I think you got a speaking appointment at 3, right?
Yeah, 3 p.m.
What time is it now?
2:30.
Yeah, so we got to get you out of here.
Yep.
Cool.
But I'll be here. Tom's got to leave because he's got a wife and kid
you.
that want to see him.
Nice.
My
That's
parents
good.
are actually in town from New Jersey today. So.
Oh, okay.
So
my wife was supposed to be gone the same weekend. They were supposed to watch the kid while I was here. So it's make an effort to see my family.
If you want to come back tonight and hang out and
definitely will. Definitely will for sure.
So
100%.
Thank you. Where can people find you? Where can they buy your calendars?
Go to my website www.thechrismccormack.net. That's the website, and my Instagram is the same exact thing, the Chris McCormack.
It'll be.
We can do what all the YouTubers do. It'll be on the screen.
Okay,
here.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And now Tim has to do more post production work.
Yay!
Thank you. I'll send you some photos too from Mongolia.
Hell yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for having me. I really
Hell
appreciate it.
man.
This has been like a year in the works, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to this.
We'll do it again next year and the year after.
Yeah.
But we'll do it next year on the stage
live.
I like it. Yeah.
You got to make that happen, bro.
Dude,
there's
we can.
nothing
We definitely
happening
can.
up there.
Is she? I could go talk to her later.
Do you know what she looks like?
No idea.
Okay.
Yeah, you should definitely talk to her.
Yeah.
She has some classes, so you might be able to just drop in after and say, "Hey, my name's Tim.
And we got a podcast.
Yeah.
Huge following,
Huge
number
fun,
6.
massive.
It actually
Huge.
we have grown quite a bit in the last year. Like last year we were very confident in ourselves because we were like on that upswing.
Yeah.
And like we continued that upswing for a while. We've plateaued a little bit, but like
this has helped. The videos helped a lot.
We went from doing we were like 200 or 300 listens a month last year, which we were really excited about. And now we're like 1,500 a month.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
keep it going, man. Just keep going. And that's the thing for me, bro. I've been doing this for 10 years now.
Yeah.
And I'm really just starting to see the fruits of my labor, honestly.
Yep.
And like I said,
that seems to be the break-over point. Is about 10 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I've seen from YouTubers.
Yeah.
That's your break-over point. Like to really get your 1,000 hours takes about 10 years doing it as a hobby.
You just got to stick with it, man.
Yep.
You got to stick with it,
100%.
and don't let anyone bring you down.
Is it 10,000 hours or 1,000? I think it's 10,000 hours.
This will be episode like 120 something.
Yeah, we're way far away from 10,000. 126.
That's cool.
126.
That's
cool. I mean, that is weekly.
That's 2.5 years.
126 episodes.
Yeah,
you have to not miss a week.
That's legitimately 2.5 years.
Yeah. Yep.
Wild.
Keep going, boys. Keep going.
Oh yeah. Well, I appreciate you. You texted. I sent you my number. You texted me when you got home. I was messaging you back and forth while you were traveling, dude. It's so cool and so inspiring to watch you. And like, you're even a good fucking speaker when you're just speaking to a screen and people. Like it was cool to watch you speak. And I'll be here tomorrow morning. I think you got one at 11 tomorrow.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Out of our comfort zone into the world.
Yeah. So I'll definitely see you again before you leave. You guys know where to find us. Everywhere social at the Dirt Drive, DirtNerds Motors. Kill All Jeeps shirts are still available, I think. If they're not, I'm lying to you, but they should be. Shoot me a message.
We can make them available.
Yeah, I'm doing them. I'm making them. Yes. So shoot me a message, Tim at dirtnerdsoffroad.com or Instagram, and we'll get those set up. You got to get out of here, so we're gonna close out. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week.
Yep.
Thank you.